Okay, guys, thank you for coming to Silverstone Adventures' first horse retreat. Yeehaw! Yay! And I brought with me Cheryl and Alonzo, this beautiful couple. Cheryl is a licensed psychotherapist with, I'll let her actually introduce herself. And we're going to be hosting these kinds of retreats, so we want your feedback and would like to also know, get some ideas. That's why you're here, right? You guys are important to me, so get some ideas for how we can help people using the facilities and also the goodies that he brought for us. So here, Cheryl.
So welcome everyone. So I'm a psychologist that has a history working with people with brain injuries and spinal cord injuries and chronic pain. So in my work, I've done a lot of different types of breathing, meditation, relaxation that people often find gives them some solace or a little bit of distraction and break from what they're dealing with in life. And whether it's someone that's dealing with chronic pain or chronic stress from overworking and overliving, chronic attachment to Instagram and cell phones and the daily grind of life, or just that balance between mitigating your family, your work responsibilities, and trying to actually have a sense of self on your own. Breathwork, meditation, yoga, and the alternative therapies that we're going to talk about in a minute can all play a role in someone finding holistic wellness. And I think this beautiful location we're at, having the horses and the serenity out here, is a priceless opportunity. Horses, you know, to me, the way I see it, is they have the freedom that we don't have in our lives. We went out on a trail the other week and we watched the horses go at their own pace, move to their own groove. They had competition like humans do, trying to see who could get to the front first and who could race to finish. But then when they got back here, they can let it all go. Whereas we're not so good at doing that. And I think that's a lot about what we're looking to provide for people, is a way to reconnect with yourself, reconnect with your spirit, and most important, love yourself. Because if you can love yourself, you have the opportunity to love other people. If you don't love yourself, it's really hard to be in a relationship, it's really hard to be in a partnership of any kind and really feel good and feel secure and feel at peace. So that's really what we're hoping to provide people moving forward.
Hi, my name's Alonzo Jarrett, former athlete. Today I'm a wellness coach, entrepreneur, philanthropist. And I got into the wellness space after starting a charity in Jamaica and, reconnecting back to roots. And in my case, this was Jamaica. I just happened to be born there. Okay, and, but the process of reconnecting to roots is applicable and universal to anyone, and as a wellness coach, this is what I kind of help people with. In doing that, sometimes we need some assistance. And one thing for certain, when you live a uncharted life, things happen. And but as we get older, we hope to get wiser. And with that wisdom, we hope to make better choices that bring better fulfillment for the days that we have left. With that conscious, I myself and a couple other partners developed several different brands that help people with this bridge, crossing this bridge of transformation. Some products are psilocybin with CBD, some products are just pure psilocybin with other functional mushrooms formulated with it. And when I got into the world of mushrooms, it was at an interesting time. My wife diagnosed me with over 100 concussions. Amazing. Probably more. And, I played football. It's very damaging. And, it's good to see that a lot of former football players getting into the space of mushrooms, whether it's psilocybin or with functional mushrooms, because they all have tremendous benefits, from treating things from PTSD to alcoholism, to just doing overall intention work. And that's a big part of, the journey with psilocybin. And, my wife and I, one thing that we really, part of healing is it's the intention, the intent to heal. And psilocybin helps, really illuminate that within us and illuminate those intentions. It's good to be with a group that really focuses on that, coaches intentions, and make sure that you're in the right mind, energy, and sense when you're doing psilocybin and journeying with it. I brought some sample products today if you guys that are underneath our microdose line. And microdosing is a form of way of taking the medicine without having the full journey. Sometimes you need a little bit of a break away from that train of thought or that feeling, or just overall just not understanding right where you are in that time and space, and you need to gravitate back into oneself. Microdosing helps with all that. So with our line, we have various different formulations that really support the intention of those moods. And yeah, feel free to check it out at microdosemushroomcanada.com.
Because the best way for us to provide a service and retreat is to help people with what they're dealing with. So for me, I know that, Cheryl, I have ADHD. I don't like labels, and I'd like to.
That one fits.
I'd like to like really not be medicated for it, like in reality. I also have high blood pressure now. It's pretty bad. Like I have really bad high blood pressure, and I also don't want to be medicated for that. But I'm going to follow what my doctor says. I'd like to do things that are more natural, and it's a lifestyle change. So, like being here. Oh, you're gonna emotional. It's like it's a chance for me to unplug.
Let it go.
So, if there's anything that you can do in your practice or make suggestions for what can actually be done in a short time with people, whether you see that as a group or whether you see that as one-on-one, those are the things I'd want to deal with. Is PTSD? No, sorry, I have that too. But I'm pretty much. This is for me. This is for me.
I mean, I think you bring up a couple great points. Labeling, I think, is somewhat unproductive. I mean, we do diagnosing all the time for a reason, because we need a label to have an insurance company pay for treatment, to have people understand what they have. But I think in life it's a lot more productive to think of things on a continuum. All of us have a little bit of ADHD. Some people have it to the point that it's highly functional, like professional athletes, for example. 70% of them have ADHD because they get going and they get active and it motivates them to go do things. But then it becomes, for some people, past a point that it's helpful. It gets to the point where it's interfering in their lives. So what we want to do is pull it back to a point that it's functional and optimal and doesn't impact them doing what they want to do. Trauma. I mean, we've all had a trauma in our life. And the challenge with trauma is it eats away at you, it gets into your soul, and it takes you to the past and doesn't let you be in the present. Some of us have traumas that are a purse size that need to be unpackaged and rebagged. Some of us have a carry-on bag worth of trauma, and other ones have a shipping container. And it's figuring out which ones of those need to be unpacked, repacked, so that they can stay in the past and not come to the present. I think the breath work that we do is an excellent strategy for people that's not easy to learn, but quick enough to learn that you can take home with you. It's something that you learn to just breathe and be and sit in the moment. Some of the processes that we do have intention work, where if there's something you're trying to let go of or something you're trying to change, you spend your time breathing, thinking of that experience. When you breathe in, you take it in. When you breathe out, you let it go. And you let go the negativity that keeps you stuck. When we talk about things like the microdosing, many people have been offered antidepressants or ADHD medications or various types of things throughout our lives, sleeping pills, to help us deal with whatever stressor or circumstance we're involved with. Not to negatively impact or negatively speak of any of those things. I don't prescribe, so I get to be a neutral party here. They serve some people for a purpose at a time in their lives for a moment. But sometimes they get to a point where it doesn't fit for them anymore. You know, microdosing is that new alternative that's coming up that's a little bit more natural. You know, you have a little bit more autonomy and control over it. It doesn't have to build up in your system, so you don't have to take it every day. So it's something that for some people they find is a good alternative. Other people find yoga, meditation, psychotherapy, all of these other things work as well. You know, when we talk a little bit about the journeys that you can go on with mushrooms, you know, they're a bit more of a different experience. And they're something that you kind of want to plan ahead for and have, you know, something in your mind that you want to work through. And it kind of, I'll let the boss talk about this a bit more, but it kind of opens those doors that we have closed in our mind. You know, when you're upset about something and you say, I just can't go there. I'm just not ready to deal with it. Those experiences of an actual mushroom journey allow you to open those doors and be willing to see what else is going on in your subconscious, but in your conscious, to help you deal with those things that are blocking you in your day-to-day life, or causing your stress, or causing your anger, or causing you to drink, or causing you to just be unhappy. Because at the end of the day, we all only have, you know, so many days on this earth, so many minutes. And I think having Jyla has heightened that for me. I want every minute of happiness with her. And I don't want to have my work or my stress or my financial concerns or my family worries to pull me away from being in the moment with her. And I think that's what we're hoping to offer and provide from some of these retreats is whatever someone needs to work on, we meet you where you're at and give you various tools and strategies and opportunities to move forward.
Now, when it comes on to doing deep dives and going on a ceremonial journey, there are various different types of sacred medicine outside of psilocybin that are, you know, extremely effective, and they all have synergy within the community of sacred medicine. You know, there's people that I had to take a journey through from doing combo to ayahuasca to then, you know, microdosing for 6 months, per se. That was needed for them, and they actually went back and did some more work with mother. That's what we refer to ayahuasca as. And those journeys, like Cheryl mentioned, are scheduled. You know, the intention sits within you. It's camping in your brain. You know it's there. You've tried everything. You read every Christian Bible, every Torah, every Quran there is. You pray to everything underneath the sun, but it still camps within you and it haunts you and it ain't letting go. And it's tough to, whatever it may be. It could be, you know, something from childhood, you know, drama to something much serious, to different assaults and so forth. When you do something like, let's say, a ayahuasca or a deep mushroom ceremonial dive, you are really opening up that realm, that space, and you know the work begins. There's preparation prior to doing this. You know, let's say a week before, you're monitoring your diet, your sleep, your water. You want to get the most out of this, right? I recommend. I'm into the herbs a lot, so I do, you know, come up with various different concoctions to cleanse your stomach, and it's, you know, cleansing prior to doing these sacred medicines are one of the best things you could possibly do to have a more purified journey, right? You know, taking care of the first brain, and then the second brain is critical when you're journeying. But after doing all of that, and regardless of what, you know, sacred medicine you use, what's really critical at that point is the aftercare. You know, how do you interpret what you just experienced? How do you transition that into lifestyle? How do you now live with the truth that you just awoken to, right? And start that new chapter. And that's right where, you know, post-care is very essential as part of your journey. And we would provide that here at these types of ceremonial retreats.
Does anyone have any questions for Alonzo or Cheryl, or any feedback?
So I've heard a lot about microdosing.
Can I see your hands?
Absolutely.
But if you can put it into layman's terms for someone who's never heard of microdosing and what it is, what its intention is.
I got it.
Yeah.
It's like this. You go to a bar, all right, and it's going to be a long night. Do you hit the hard liquor right away, or do you just start off with a few beers and then you get into the hard stuff? Microdosing is like starting off with beers and getting into the hard stuff. It's like getting into a ceremonial level, right, of
So
stuff.
when you're microdosing, are you, like, if they say high, are you like,
I wouldn't say high. I would say that you're adjusted.
okay.
All right, and you're centered, you're more focused. When you microdose, a level of focus definitely comes in, and hence why intentions are key, right? If you have the wrong intentions, just imagine what that, where that type of focus could send you into like a black hole for some.
What's the equivalent of the dosage? Is it like a quarter of a gram? Is it?
No, like when you microdose, it's anything under, let's say, 150 milligrams. Yeah, like anything over 150 year, you know, and typically like our like neural blend, which is like our standard, you know, microdose, that has 80 milligrams of psilocybin in there. But we do a concoction of different species of psilocybin to make up that 80 milligrams, right? And that's another thing. The species of mushrooms also determines what kind of journey you have. Like, for example, if you were very depressed and you took a whole bunch of golden teacher, this might be a different kind of, you know, you may have needed albino penis envy to lift you up to opposed to taking a deeper dive into that depression, which golden teacher would do to you, right? So understanding the species strain is very critical as well. Some people just use Cubenza, psilocybin, just general psilocybin, which is fine, you know, but when you, like, for example, golden teacher really serves a purpose when you really need to be taught something, hence the name golden teacher, right? So if you were in a situation that you really didn't understand, but you needed to understand that, golden teacher is going to be the right choice right then and there. You're going to learn right there. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes.
We were talking about this last night, and someone was mentioning the only thing to be cautious of was schizophrenic tendencies.
Absolutely.
If you have that history or background.
Absolutely. So your intake processes, and this comes from your guide. Your guide would have already picked up senses like, hey, something just isn't right yet. Let's see. Let's neutralize you, bring you through, you know, 3 days of purity. Like, hey, you're going to eat clean and see what your body reacts to at that point. But once you detect that type of, you know, behavioral instincts, psilocybin is not. I definitely would not recommend that for anybody with decomposed schizophrenia traits.
So I wanted to share that I did have my own journey with mushrooms, very high dosage. It was guided, and I like it was one of the most life-changing things for me. And you did need to have guidance, music, supervision, right? And I had clear intention of what I wanted to deal with. And so, oh, baby. So for me, especially, like I had conversations with people that I didn't have the opportunity to have conversations with, and I got clear of past that I wasn't dealing with, and I probably had a 4-hour deep gut-wrenching sob, like 4 hours of like gut-wrenching sobbing to the point where I couldn't breathe and snot was coming out of my nose, and it was just like that kind of, and the doctor like just was there with me. It felt really safe. It felt so cleansing. And I was exhausted, but I felt so light afterwards. Yeah. Have you seen people, have you guided somebody through that? I would love, I don't know how long it takes to do a breathing. Can you guide us through one of those and help us with a breathing exercise? That would be great.
So there's different ways to do breathing. You've probably all heard of mindfulness meditation, yoga practices, breathing. All of them are what I call complementary. You know, they each have their own benefit. So yoga is the obvious. You get some movement and some flow with breathing, and you're always breathing is what guides your yoga practice for most people. Meditation is more about just being. So you're trying to be in the moment, you're trying to clear your mind of things and be present with yourself. So it's a tougher one. It takes a lot of practice. Many people dislike it at first until they can get to that point where it comes naturally, but it takes a lot of work. The breathing or breath work, for me, is the most realistic. It's the one that you can take with you wherever you go. You don't have to stop what you're doing. Nobody knows you're doing it. So it's almost like that therapeutic tool in your toolkit that is your secret weapon. So when we go through a simple breathwork exercise, what we often want to do is just take a minute and think about where we're at in our lives today and what an intention would be. And when we think of an intention, it's not really like a goal. It's more of something, an aspiration or a feeling that you have that you know this is somewhere I want to be that I'm not. So some people would say, I want to feel more peace in my heart. I want to feel less angry. I want to forgive. I want to love myself. I want to stop saying I should have done this or I should have done that. I want to alleviate myself of guilt.
Are you reading my brain?
It's my secret weapon. So what you want to do, just take a moment and think about where you're at in your life, whether it's a professional, whether it's loneliness, whether it's a conflictual relationship, whatever it is that's missing or that's your intentional goal of what you want to work towards. Think of that right now, of what you want to have for the next 5 minutes as the one thing you want to reflect upon. And you just get yourself in a comfortable position. You don't have to lie down. You can move if you need to. The beauty of the breath work is you can move and flow if you want to.
Can I lie down?
Absolutely. It's your space. Think of it as your mat. It's your solitude. You can have a nap. I won't take it personally. You can keep your eyes open, you can keep your eyes closed. And what we're going to be doing to start off with is just paying attention to our breathing. What you'll notice when you see Jyla a little later is she breathes from her belly, because babies don't have a strong enough chest to breathe from their chest. Unfortunately, us adults breathe through our chests. And what that does is dysregulate our breathing. So what I want everyone to do is just think of a hand on your chest and a hand on your stomach. And you're just going to try to make your stomach hand move, not your chest. Take a deep breath in and out. And in and out. You don't have to change the pace of your breathing. Just focus on a flow and a rhythm. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And once you get the flow of the air going in and out, take a minute to reflect on your intention. You breathe in with your goal and your intention. You breathe out what's blocking you from achieving that intention. You breathe in with how you want to feel, and you breathe out the anger, the guilt, the regret, the conflict. You keep, as you breathe in, what's working for you, and you let go of, as you breathe out, what isn't. Just take a few minutes Get the flow of your breathing in, flow of your breathing out. And just allow your mind and your body to just be at peace. When you think of your intention as you breathe in, absorb what gives you power and strength and courage. And breathe out what gives you fear, makes you feel stuck, or makes you regret. Breathe in with the intentions that give you hope and make you feel strong. And as you breathe out, try to forgive. Forgive those that hurt you. And most important, forgive yourself. Now I'm going to stop talking for a minute or two and just let you focus on your breath, your intentions, and connect with your body as you breathe. So you can stay in these positions as long as you want. And when you feel like you've met your own intentions and you feel at peace with yourself, you can slowly bring yourself back to the here and now.
All right. Mr. Jimmy.
Hook me up.
Hook you up, okay. So Jimmy, you're the owner of Silverstone Adventures. Why don't you tell us about just the property and maybe any history about the farm and what it's been, or the ranch, and what it's been like for you since you started working with horses?
So,
And your intention, because I know you had a lot of, like, what you'd like to see from the space and what you provide for people.
nice. So this, basically I bought this property 9 years ago, October the 1st. And it just came from out of my heart and a passion for horses. And since coming here is that it's all started off with just bringing friends and relatives and going for horse rides. And now it's developed into more of a passion where I want to share more and bring more people to the property. And
Come here. Come on, Peppy. Peppy's the horse guy.
yeah, Peppy's
the
the guy that's
The horse whisperer.
Peppy's the guy that's got me into all of this. He's the one that started me into horses. 13 years ago, started buying a horse. So I had a horse, I needed a place to put it, so I ended up buying this property. And that's a true story.
real.
That's a true story, actually, yeah. Actually, I didn't even know Peppy was into horses, and he just said, come on, Jimmy, let's go for a horse ride. And I said, what? You don't even, yeah, he says, yeah, you know, I ride horses. So we went out, and I got the bug, and ever since then, it's been growing, and now the place is turning into a retreat. I want to share the property and let people come and have beautiful experiences like this, especially with mushrooms. I love mushrooms myself. So definitely gonna be taking some samples and experimenting with that. Actually, after coming down from a mushroom high last night, and I like what you said is, have intentions before you take the mushrooms. Taking mushrooms with no intentions, then anything is possible. Yeah,
Can you tell me about the trail rides in the back and what?
Right. So Yeah, so my passion is horses and taking people on trail rides. So right behind us, we've got like 10,000 acres of government land that is all full of trails, which you can get lost in, but you can't die. But lots of trails where taking people out on horse rides, and for people that haven't been on a horse before, it's just magical. And, you know, many times I've been crying out on the crocodile tears are coming down my cheeks because I love it so much, and showing people, getting people involved in horses and with the property. Yeah, it's just magical. So this is basically starting to grow organically since meeting Carm. I brought Carm here. She went out on a horse ride, and I said, you know, there's lots of stuff we can do here. And Carm just took the horse by the ears. Now I can't get her off a horse. And yeah, you know, brought her whole family out here, and yeah, I'm so excited about what's coming down the pipe and the journey and all this great stuff. And this is like our first kick at the can, so to speak, and it's been really, really, really good, and I see great things happening, and lots of people coming and basically bringing their entrepreneurial spirit, and where it's an opportunity that
well, you don't know yet, but you're going to be supplying some mushrooms in this place. That's already happening. That's already happening.
I'm already a distributor.
Yeah, you are. Got a whole business lined up for you. He's now the mushroom guy. This is Silverstone Adventures.
I'm doing a happy baby.
Silverstone Adventures Mushroom Camp. Okay.
It's notorious Biggie saying, "Don't get high on your own supply."
So to close it out, I'll just pass it back to our expert here. Thank you. If there's some real serious questions around, Alonzo very rarely talks. I mean, he gets invited a lot. It's a pretty big deal. So thank you so much. He hasn't really given you all of his accolades. I think these two are extremely humble, but I mean, it's an honor that you guys are here. I'm gonna get emotional, but these guys are amazing. I've known Cheryl a long time. She's like the easiest person to work with, to talk to be with. Like, beyond the fact that it's your skill, it's just she's an incredible human being. So I'm excited that you guys are doing this. And this is really your opportunity to ask him about psilocybin or cannabis. Did you bring your paste, by the way, or?
The paste is at home.
Okay.
But so how about this? On the next one, we will facilitate the journey with the honey paste.
Okay.
And this honey paste has been around for over 20 years, the creator. This is what he knows ever since he's been 17 years old. And you're looking at 16 different herbs, mushroom herbs blended into this honey, and it's called mycosoma. And mycosoma means spiritual honey drink. And there's nothing on the planet like this, believe me. I searched, and I was very fortunate when I came across this medicine. And its properties and what it does for you during a journey. It's extremely grounding. His type of mushrooms that he uses, he cultivates them outdoors, to opposed to many who cultivates it inside in bags. And there is a little bit of a difference. There is a much more grounding effect with mushrooms that come from outside. And that's exactly what you feel when you take this journey. And hopefully he also provides a online class, Carm, that we will be teaming up with. You guys do her podcast. We'll hear about these services and have opportunities to really learn. We teach it from the ground up all the way into a ceremony. And you know, and people graduate from there to host their own ceremonies from there. By all means, we provide that certification, and that's what we want to do. We want to create a discipleship, and the webpage will be launching soon, microsoma.org, and it's an organization that fights anxiety, depression, PTSD.
What's a paste?
It's a paste. It looks like a it looks like a pate. It's almost like it looks like a pate.
It's like a pate. It tastes like liquid.
But
really
it'll be one of the best things you ever eaten. Okay.
Does it every morning with
Yeah,
just a
like a little
toothpick.
spoon or a toothpick. You just scoop it in.
And
like just a
extremely
little bit.
synergizing. It sits on a sound, a vibration board. This is the most godliest thing I've ever taken. I wish I did bring it,
Yeah.
but you know,
When that's
next time.
Yeah, and just like Jyla is like this lady's a manifester, okay? And I've worked with her in many different ways, but I don't even think she's a miracle. She's like
our little miracle baby.
she's her little miracle baby, and she had your daughter at the same age I had my daughter. I think I was 44.
I was 46.
You were 46 when you had her?
46, yeah.
Yeah, and so intention, like clarity, no stress, no
So,
pressure. It was.
She was our matchmaker.
Yeah.
That's how it became. So I was aversive. My intention was to be alone.
You know what?
hard.
No, you're.
then
It
my
wasn't.
intention had transitioned.
It transitioned, and let me just say that. This gentleman here ticked every box. Like if we could, yeah, you're a box ticker. She ticked every box from culture to athleticism to success, and when I say she was like, I wish every client was like Cheryl, because like, oh my
You
God.
gotta understand, I have a cannabis farm, and she hasn't smoked cannabis.
I've never smoked in my life.
Yeah, so this got real interesting.
But now do you do
I've never smoked
gummies?
it.
Gummies?
I've done the gummies now. Yeah.
I tried once, and it went horribly wrong.
But you're okay with the
All
mushrooms?
of this. She ate all of it.
Oh! Candy. Like, what was I supposed to do?
There was a plane ride, but there was no plane.
So guys, thank you so much. We like this season's over, but like you guys were here because I wanted to connect some of my favorite people and get your ideas.
For quite some time now. But that's what I love to do. I love to attend retreats. I do a lot like throughout the world. I have an upcoming one in Puglia, Italy next month. I'm excited to do that. And when Carm approached me with this and told me about this, I said, oh, I'm all for it. I want to hear what everyone else has to say now.
So I'm Christine. So I've been always with Carm doing her hair and makeup, and I did her wedding, I did her makeup. I love you. So I had the opportunity to meet you guys, and I know, I was at the house. Remember that? So these guys are just incredible people, and I just had the opportunity to like meet you guys and be a part of this whole journey, and I'm just so happy to be a part of all of this. I think this is incredible space for people to kind of connect back to who they are. Like we all have a story, like everyone's got a story. Like you think that you're going down this path and all of a sudden, boom, it was like, what just happened to my life? And just processing everything, connecting with who you are, and just putting all the pieces back together again. It's quite a journey. And then when you meet people, it's like, wow, you kind of went through something similar like me, or, and it's just a matter of navigating through that and being around people to help you through that journey per se. And I think this is incredible. We have to talk too.
So I'm Chuck. I met Carm about 10 years ago. We were doing a talk in Brampton together. And I was just starting to write a book then called Men Don't Get It. Because my partner at the time always kept reminding me that I don't get it.
That inspiration.
That's a hashtag true story.
Now there's a surprise.
Yeah, shocking. Shocking. Guy with ADHD doesn't get it. What are the shocking? Yeah. And my dad was in the military, which just made things worse. And, you know, I hit everything with a hammer of anger. You know, it's what us men are really, really good at doing. It's what we've been taught since we've been little boys. And so I went to Union Station at rush hour. I went to the Sky Dome when it emptied out, and I just grab's a bad word. I approach as many women as I possibly could and asked them, what is the it that men don't get? And I was really surprised that, you know, like, they didn't get it. And I interviewed thousands of women for that content, and it changed my life. Like, we as men, because we're providers and protectors as little boys, and we burn up that way, the way we've been taught to show love is provide and protect, which is exactly the opposite of empathizing with how your experience is, because we want to fix it or, like, tell you how to do it. And women nowadays, the paradigm has shifted 180 degrees for women, whereas my mother's generation needed my father for a paycheck. And women nowadays, they're all educated, you know, in North America, they've all got their own jobs, careers. They don't need men anymore like they typically did in my mother's generation. What they do want is better communicators and partners to roll with life together as a symbiotic relationship.
So I'm Carm's older brother, that nobody knows about, aka Snuffleupagus.
Brother?
You had another brother?
I sell software, so you know that's definitely a high stress environment, and a place like this could definitely benefit a lot of my colleagues and clients. And I've been fortunate to meet Jimmy, who's got an awesome laugh and just makes everybody feel comfortable, very comfortable when you're around him. You know, I'm definitely one that enjoys nature and being outdoors and grounding and holistic medicine and things of that nature, and just taking in, you know, yoga and breathing and all that kind of stuff, especially within the last year or so, going through my midlife crisis. I've never taken anything, you know, like with the exception of alcohol. So I'm interested in learning more about like, you know, ayahuascas and things of that nature. As men, I think. Yeah, well, no, I think, you know.
I'm so excited for him too. This is Mr. Straight-Laced 2.0. He has that, he's gonna fly.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, where's Roy?
No, and talking about men and the challenges that we face, I think part of the thing about men is we just hold things in. You know, we're very avoidant in trying to deal with problems because we're supposed to be able to handle it all. And I'm interested and intrigued about, you know, intention and trying to find out what is the traumas that we face that keep us, you know, the way we are. And so I'd like to talk to you guys more about that, definitely. But definitely this
doesn't give us a lot of permission to
Yeah.
fail or to be weak or to talk about how we feel.
Yeah, or instructions on how to live life.
Kinda
Yeah.
quick, but my name is Judy, and I'm in telecommunications. I've been at a company for quite a few years, 17 years, and I just want to say I resonated with so many things that everybody said about taking pause, because we're now at, like, I'm at the stage where you're looking at your life and there's less life in front rather than behind, which is a reality. And it's like this making things matter more rather than, and I'm afraid I've been a people pleaser and like not questioning society and like what I should be doing. Like my parents were a very strong force in my life, and then what I should be doing. And now, like 10 years ago, I started questioning like, why am I doing what I'm doing? So I just want, I just want to say that this space is amazing for this. Like it's so tranquil, and like the nature and being with the horses. Like just to thank Carmen for like getting us all together and being like-minded and having talks and conversations and making a pause for this time.
Yeah,
so
making
thank you.
everyone make
Like
time for themselves today.
Yes.
which is awesome.
Yes.
For you too.
Right. No. Well, and like.
I did not.
They're gonna say thank you.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got that right away.
Yeah. Totally. So.
I'm Carl, but officially with the family it's Arlin. So I'm Carmelia. Yeah. I'm Carm's youngest brother, which is I guess if you know the hierarchy of the hero, the black the black sheep and the Joker. That's the archetype is there. I went to high school with Christine. I was class clown there. And grade school, yeah. But I was high school there, and class clown. I first thank you, Jimmy, for offering this place. It's beautiful. Thank you guys for sharing. Honestly, I work in pharmaceuticals and marketing, so I'm a project manager. But my background is in IT. But I'm also Carm knows I love to read, and I'm very, I guess, aware of many things, and very curious about many things. But my real passion is peace in terms of life and the world and how that can be. And this connection is how I think it manifests in life, right? Like you have to start with collections of people, connecting, right, and from different various backgrounds and what have you. So that's sort of the things that I care about deeply. And there will be a book one day. Me and ChatGPT we're on it. But the main thing is partying for peace, and so so this will be a spot where that happens, I think.